The Consumer Electronics Show kicked off today in Las Vegas. The event has served as a proving ground for innovators and breakthrough technologies for more than 40 years. Bloomberg Businessweek senior editor Brad Stone is there, and he's standing by with the CEO of Dish Network, Joe Clayton. Brad?
Thank you, Mark. Yep, here with Joe Clayton, CEO of Dish. Joe, yesterday you guys made big news with the introduction of Sling TV, a $20 a month video service, over the top, so you don't need a Dish subscription. Gives you CNN, the Food Network, and ESPN. How disruptive is this, and who's it for?
Well, there's a market that the pay TV industry is missing today, Brad, and we call it the 18 to 35-year-olds, the millennial market, if you will. And they're not watching satellite television or cable television today. And they're mostly younger, well-educated, urban dwellers, and they have different tastes than probably you and me. So we do not believe that it will be supplementary, but complementary to our core satellite TV
You don't
business.
worry that anyone will be going ahead and canceling their Dish subscription because there is now this other, less expensive option?
Well, you know, in our case, we believe 1 and 1 will equal 3. Of course, there'll be some that may opt that way, but we'll hit an untapped market today that really nobody's even getting.
Now, people are making a big deal out of the inclusion of ESPN. Point of clarification, will the premium sports like Monday Night Football be included in the Sling TV package?
Well, yeah, it's what you know today as ESPN will be what we have on the service. And for the 18 to 35-year-old millennials, especially the males, ESPN is the #1 watched network.
This show, of course, this year is all about 4K, ultra-high bandwidth television. Talk about how you guys are supporting that.
Well, we think we're leading the way with 4K, Brad, and I got a little Dish 4K Joey.
Got a couple of these in my house.
Yeah, well, this one will allow you to watch Ultra HD or 4K, same thing, in any room of your house as long as you have one of these little Joey units. Now, there's been other announcements about 4K from other competitors, but it's only with specific television. This will work with any TV. It's got to be 4K that you have.
And what do you have to do to your satellite infrastructure to support the higher bandwidth transmission?
Well, 4K actually uses 3 times more satellite capacity or spectrum capacity than HD does. So there will be some trade-offs that we'll have to make, or indeed buy more capacity, more spectrum.
Now, Joe, I'm a Dish subscriber, as I told you, and this year has been characterized with Dish by some disagreements with content providers. There has been CBS, CNN, now Fox taking turns being either threatened or disappeared from the Dish lineup. What's going on?
Well, we've always been known as disruptors and pioneers when it comes to technology, Brad, and we feel very strongly if we don't stand up for the rights of consumer, who will? And that's in terms of technology, making it easier to use for the consumer. And, you know, I got a little remote control right here. I mean, our old remote had 57 buttons on it. This has 17. This is an example of what new technology can do. And in terms of the economics, how many people are going to be able to afford to pay over $100 a month for satellite TV, cable television, etc.? So we try to keep the cost down and use technology to make it easier for the consumer.
But are you hurting consumers in the process by removing some content?
Of course we are, you know, and all we can do is ask for their patience as we work out, you know, a favorable agreement for both sides. You know, it's a negotiation. We will come to terms with Fox or whomever, which is agreeable to both parties, economically and technology.
In 2014, you guys spent quite a bit of capital on wireless spectrum. Why? How are you going to use it?
Well, you know, as the pay TV market, as we know it today, declines, we're trying to take the cash flow we've generated from our core satellite TV business and invest it in new growth initiatives. One is broadband satellite, which we have over 500,000 rural subscribers. 2 is the wireless spectrum that the auction is still taking place, so can't say a whole lot about it. And 3rd is internet video, which we believe is a market, as we discussed earlier, that's a growth market and can help raise the number of subscribers.
So this is an asset you use instead of sell?
That will be our pathway into the mobile communications market.
Okay, let me ask you one more question, Joe. Everyone's wondering about cord cutters, how quickly the TV business changes. How long does pay TV have? Is it a business that goes away eventually?
No, there will always be a pay TV business. You know, it depends upon what the consumer's wants and needs are. I'll tell you, in rural America, there's always going to be a satellite TV business. what happens in urban America, whether it's OTT, it won't be satellite television, whether it be cable, whether it be broadband from the telcos. The consumer doesn't really care on how he gets it. He wants it easy to use, affordable, and mobile. That I know.
All right, thank you, Joe, and your friends are here, and we will now go back to Mark.